The ship rumbled as it entered the atmosphere of Epsilon 9. Marcus Wells gripped the armrests of his seat. His heart beat fast in his chest. After 6 months of travel through space, he was finally arriving at his new home. Marcus looked around. The passenger area of the transport ship. 20 men sat in rows. All of them were coming to Epsilon 9 for the same reason. They were part of the interplanetary marital program. People called it the mail-order spouse system. Epsilon 9 was a mining colony with 5 men for every woman. The colony leaders had started the program to fix this problem. People from Earth who wanted a better life could sign up. They would marry someone from the colony and get a new start. Marcus touched the small data crystal in his pocket. It held all his information. He was a scientist from Nigeria with 3 degrees in xenobiology. That meant he studied life forms from other planets. 6 months ago, Earth Science Council had cut his funding. With no job and no money, the marriage program seemed like his only option. His future wife was named Olivia Patterson. She was a big shot at a mining company on Epsilon 9. They had sent messages back and forth a few times. Marcus had told her about his education and work, but he had not sent a picture. He wanted her to like him for his brain, not his looks. "Preparing for landing," said the ship's computer voice. "All passengers, please secure your belongings." Marcus checked his bag. Everything he owned was in there. Some clothes, his tablet, with research notes and a small wooden carving his grandmother had given him for good luck. The ship landed with a hard bump. Marcus and the other men stood up and lined up at the exit. A crew member gave them each a small card with their new colony ID number. "Welcome to Epsilon 9, said the crew member in a bored voice. "Your sponsors will meet you in the arrival hall." Marcus walked down the ramp and into the station. The air smelled different here. It was clean but artificial, like it had been filtered too many times. The gravity felt a bit lighter than Earth's. The arrival hall was big and shiny. The walls were white metal with the Epsilon 9 logo painted in blue. About 30 women stood in a group, holding small screens with names on them. They were well dressed in business clothes that looked expensive. Marcus scanned the crowd until he saw a screen with Wells on it. The woman holding it was tall with straight blonde hair pulled back tight. She wore a gray suit and had a serious face. This must be Olivia Patterson. Marcus walked over to her and put on his best smile. "Miss Patterson, I am Marcus Wells. It is nice to meet you in person." Olivia looked at him. Her eyes got wide. Then they narrowed. Her smile disappeared. "You are Marcus Wells?" "Yes, that is me." Marcus held out his hand to shake hers. Olivia did not take his hand. She looked him up and down. "There must be some mistake. Your application did not mention—" She waved her hand at him. "Did not mention what?" Marcus asked. His stomach felt tight. He knew what was coming. "Your background." Olivia's voice got quiet. "I cannot be seen with someone like you. The other company leaders would never accept it." Marcus stood up straight. "My background was included in my medical records," he said in a calm voice. "Well, I did not look at those myself. My helper handled the paperwork." Olivia stepped back from him. "I am sorry, but this will not work. I will have the contract canceled." "You cannot do that," Marcus said. "I have traveled for 6 months. I have given up everything on Earth. The rules say I can cancel if there was important information left out. I would say this counts." She pointed at his skin. "You should have been more clear about your appearance." "I did not hide anything," Marcus said. "I thought my qualifications were what mattered. I have 3 degrees. I have published research, papers. I can help your company. That is not the point. This is a small colony. Everyone knows everyone. I have a position to keep. The board members expect certain things." Olivia shook her head. "You seem educated, but this is not what I signed up for." She took out her tablet and pressed some buttons. "There. I have filed to cancel the contract. You will need to find another sponsor within 30 days or return to Earth." "Return to Earth?" "I spent all my money on this trip," Marcus said. "That is not my problem." Olivia turned to leave. "Good luck, Mr. Wells." Marcus stood alone in the arrival hall. The other couples were meeting, shaking hands, hugging. Some looked happy, some looked nervous, but they were all leaving together. A colony worker walked up to Marcus. "Everything okay here, sir?" "My sponsor has canceled the contract," Marcus said. "Oh." The worker looked uncomfortable. "That happens sometimes. You'll need to go to temporary housing until you figure things out. Follow me." Marcus picked up his bag and followed the worker. They left the nice area of the station and went down dirty hallways with flickering lights. "This is the transit hostel," said the worker, stopping at a metal door. "You can stay here for 30 days with your temporary visa. After that, you either need a new sponsor or a ticket back to Earth." "What if I have neither?" Marcus asked. The worker shrugged. "Then you'll be sent to work in the waste plants until you earn enough for a ticket home. It's hard work, but it pays. Eventually, the room was small with a bed, a toilet, and a small food maker. The walls were gray metal. There was one small window that looked out at the colony's dome. Marcus sat on the bed after the worker left. He took out his tablet and looked at his bank account. He had enough money for food for maybe 2 weeks, not enough for a ticket back to Earth. He would need to find work. But without colony citizenship, the only jobs open to him would be the worst ones. Cleaning, waste management, dangerous mining. Marcus thought about Olivia's face when she saw him. The way her smile dropped. The way she looked at his skin. It was not the first time he had seen that look. But it still hurt. He took out his grandmother's wooden carving and held it tight. She had told him, "Your worth is not in how others see you. It is in what you know and what you do." Marcus put the carving away and opened his research notes on his tablet. He still had his brain. He still had his knowledge. Somehow he would find a way to make it work. He just needed someone to see his true worth. 3 days had passed since Marcus arrived on Epsilon 9. His small room in the transit hostel felt smaller each day. The walls seemed to close in on him. The bed was hard. The food from the meal maker tasted like cardboard. Marcus checked his money again. It was going fast. He had enough for maybe 10 more days of food. He needed to find work or another sponsor soon. He walked to the colony's central plaza. It was a big, open space under the main dome. Small trees grew in pots. Water, fountains made gentle sounds. Screens on the walls showed news and job listings. Marcus found a public computer terminal and logged in. He searched for jobs that would take temporary visitors. The list was short and bad. Waste plant worker, radiation zone cleaner, deep mine digger, all dangerous jobs that paid little. Then he looked for a way back to Earth. The cheapest ticket cost more than he would earn in 6 months at those jobs. And his temporary visa would run out in 27 days. Marcus sighed and rubbed his tired eyes. He had 3 science degrees and had written important research papers. Now he might end up cleaning toxic waste just to survive. He searched for news about xenobiology, his field of study. Maybe there was a lab on the colony that needed help. Even as a helper or cleaner, he might get to work with science again. While he read, he heard loud voices from a nearby table at a small cafe. A man was talking with anger in his voice. "What do you mean the sample is bad? That is 3 million credits gone." 3 million. Marcus turned to look. A man with silver hair and bright blue eyes was sitting at a table. He wore simple clothes. That looked very expensive. Across from him was a younger man in a white lab coat who looked nervous. "The air in the ship was not right," said the younger man. "The space bacteria from Proxima b changed too much. They are not the same anymore. And we cannot get new ones? Not for 6 months when the next science ship comes back." Marcus listened with interest. He knew about Proxima b bacteria. He had worked with them in his lab on Earth. "Is there any way to fix them?" asked the silver-haired man. "No, sir. We need to start over with fresh samples." Marcus took a deep breath and walked over to their table. This might be his only chance. "Excuse me," he said. I could not help hearing. "Are you talking about Proxima b bacteria strain PX291? The silver-haired man looked up with a frown. Yes, what about it? I made a way to fix that kind of bacteria when they change from bad air, Marcus said. I did this work at Lagos University on Earth. The man in the lab coat laughed a little. That is owned by Galactic Pharmaceuticals. It is their secret method. Actually, Marcus said, I made it before they bought the rights. I still have my original research notes. I can prove it. The silver-haired man looked at Marcus more carefully now. What is your name? Marcus Wells. I study space bacteria and how they change to live in hard places. The man's eyes got wide. Dr. Wells, did you write the paper about how space bacteria change and grow? Marcus was surprised. Yes, that was my work. I am Gregory Hayes, head of Frontier Biosciences. The silver-haired man stood up and held out his hand. Your paper changed how we think about space life. Marcus shook his hand. Thank you, Mr. Hayes. Please call me Gregory. He pointed to the chair next to him. Sit down. Tell me how you would fix our bacteria problem. For the next hour, Marcus explained his method. He showed Gregory and the lab worker his research notes on his tablet. He drew diagrams on napkins. He explained how the bacteria's outer shell could be fixed with a special protein mix. Gregory listened with great interest. He asked smart questions. The lab worker took notes. This could work, the lab worker finally said. It is better than anything we have tried. Of course it will work, Gregory said. We are talking to the man who invented the method. He looked at Marcus. Dr. Wells, would you be willing to come to our lab and show us this process? We would pay you, of course. I would be happy to help, Marcus said. His heart beat faster. This could be the chance he needed. Excellent. Gregory stood up. My car is waiting outside. We can go now. The Frontier Biosciences building was tall and shiny. It stood near the edge of the colony dome. Inside, everything was clean and modern. People in lab coats walked around with tablets. Machines hummed. Screens showed data and images of strange life forms. Gregory led Marcus to a big lab on the 10th floor. Clear boxes held dishes with growing bacteria. Machines tested and measured them. These are our Proxima B samples, Gregory said, pointing to a box with sick-looking blue spots. They should be bright blue and growing fast. Now they are pale and dying. Marcus put on lab gloves and looked at the samples under a microscope. Yes, they changed from bad air, but they are not dead yet. For the rest of the day, Marcus worked with the lab team. He mixed special proteins. He showed them how to fix the bacterial shell. By evening, the blue spots were brighter. It is working, said the lab worker from the cafe. His name was Alan. The readings show they are getting stronger. Gregory came back to the lab and looked at the results. Amazing. You saved our research, Dr. Wells. The bacteria did the work, Marcus said. They want to live. They just needed a little help. Like all of us, Gregory said with a smile. Dr. Wells, I would like to buy you dinner. We have much to talk about. The restaurant was on the top floor of a tall building. Through the clear dome, Marcus could see the stars and the moons of the planet. The food was real, not made by machines. Marcus had not eaten so well in months. Tell me, Gregory said as they ate, what brings a scientist of your level to Epsilon 9? We are not known for good labs or universities. Marcus was quiet for a moment. Then he said, I came through the interplanetary marital program. Gregory's eyebrows went up. The mail-order spouse system? You? My research money on Earth was cut. I had no job. The program offered a new start. And where is your new spouse now? Marcus looked down at his plate. She broke the contract when she saw me. She did not expect someone who looked like me. Gregory was quiet for a moment. Olivia Patterson? Marcus looked up, surprised. How did you know? Epsilon 9 is a small place, especially among the rich and powerful. Olivia sits on business boards with me. Gregory frowned. She often judges people by how they look, though she tries to hide it. He took a sip of his drink. Dr. Wells, you have shown amazing skill today. You fixed a problem that our whole team could not solve. I have a question for you. Yes? Marcus felt hope rising in his chest. How would you like a job at Frontier Biosciences? Marcus looked at Gregory with wide eyes. A job? At Frontier Biosciences? Yes, Gregory said. We need someone with your skills. Our company is working on making new worlds ready for people to live on. We change the air and soil with special bacteria. Your work could help us do this faster and better. What kind of job are you offering? Marcus asked. He tried not to sound too excited. Head of research for our space bacteria team, Gregory said. You would lead a group of 10 scientists. The pay would be very good. And you would get a nice place to live, not that small room in the transit hostel. Marcus could not believe what he was hearing. 3 days ago, he had been rejected and left. With nothing. Now he was being offered a top job at one of the colony's best companies. Why would you offer me this? Marcus asked. You just met me today. Gregory smiled. I read your research papers 2 years ago. Your ideas about how bacteria change to live in hard places were brilliant. Many scientists have tried to copy your work. And today you fixed a problem in hours that my team could not solve in weeks. He leaned forward. I do not care what you look like, Dr. Wells. I care what you know and what you can do. Thank you, Marcus said. I accept your offer. Good. Gregory raised his glass. To new beginnings. They touched glasses, and Marcus felt hope for the first time since arriving on Epsilon 9. The next morning, Marcus moved out of the transit hostel. A company car took him to a nice apartment building near the Frontier Biosciences offices. His new home was on the 15th floor with big windows looking out at the colony dome and the planet beyond. The apartment had real furniture, not the plastic kind from the hostel. It had a kitchen with a food maker that could make more than just plain meals. It had a soft bed and a desk for work. Marcus put his grandmother's wooden carving on a shelf near the bed. Gregory met him at the company building. They went to a big meeting room where 10 people sat around a table. They all wore lab coats with the Frontier Biosciences logo. Everyone, Gregory said. This is Dr. Marcus Wells. He will be your new research leader. Dr. Wells is a top expert on space bacteria and how they change to live in hard places. He saved our Proxima B samples yesterday. The team looked at Marcus with interest. Some smiled, some looked curious. No one seemed to care about his skin color. Dr. Wells will lead our terraforming project, Gregory continued. We need to make Planet LV-219 ready for people in 5 years. That is half the normal time. Dr. Wells will help us do this. A woman with short red hair raised her hand. Dr. Wells, your paper on protein shells was amazing. I have many questions about your methods. I would be happy to discuss them, Marcus said. What is your name? I am Dr. Laura Rivera. I work on bacteria that can clean air. For the next hour, Marcus met each team member. They all had questions about his work. They all seemed happy to have him as their leader. Marcus felt a weight lift from his shoulders. Here, his knowledge mattered more than how he looked. After the meeting, Gregory showed Marcus his new lab. It was 3 times bigger than the one they had been in yesterday. It had the newest equipment. It had 6 clear rooms where they could grow bacteria in different conditions. This is all yours, Gregory said. Whatever you need, just ask. Thank you, Marcus said. I will not let you down. I know you won't. Gregory checked his watch. I have a board meeting now. Get settled in. Tomorrow we start changing a planet. For the next month, Marcus worked harder than ever before. He learned about Planet LV-219. It had bad air with too much carbon dioxide. It had soil with too much acid. It was too cold. People could not live there without special suits. Marcus and his team made new kinds of bacteria. Some could eat carbon dioxide and make oxygen. Some could clean the soil. Some could make heat. If they put the right mix on the planet, they could make it more like Earth. The work was going well. Marcus was happy. His team respected him. He had a nice home. He had enough money. The pain of rejection by Olivia began to fade. Then one day, Marcus was eating lunch in the company cafe when he saw her. Olivia Patterson was sitting with 2 men in expensive suits. They were talking and laughing. Marcus tried to leave without her seeing him, but it was too late. Olivia looked up and saw him. Her eyes got wide. She said something to the men, and they all looked at him. Marcus walked past their table with his head high. He was almost to the door when one of the men called out to him. "Excuse me, are you Dr. Wells? Dr. Marcus Wells?" Marcus stopped and turned. "Yes, I am." The man stood up and walked over. He was older with gray hair and a friendly face. "I am John Carter, head of the colony's science board. We have heard great things about your work at Frontier Biosciences." "Thank you," Marcus said. "We are having a dinner next week for the colony's top scientists. We would be honored if you would come." Marcus did not miss the look of shock on Olivia's face. "I would be happy to attend," he said. "Excellent." John gave Marcus a small card with details. "We look forward to learning more about your terraforming methods." That night, Marcus looked at the invitation card in his apartment. The dinner would be at the governor's house, the fanciest place in the colony. All the important people would be there. His tablet beeped with a message. It was from Gregory. "Heard you met John Carter today. He is excited to have you at the science dinner. I will be there too. This is your chance to show everyone what you can do. Your work is changing how we think about terraforming. Be proud." Marcus smiled and put down the tablet. He walked to the window and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there was planet LV-219, waiting for his bacteria to make it a new home for humans. He thought about Olivia's face when John Carter invited him to the dinner. She had looked surprised and maybe a little afraid. She had judged him by his skin, not his mind. Now she was seeing her mistake. But Marcus did not feel happy about her discomfort. He just felt sad that some people could not see past the surface. He picked up his tablet again and looked at the data from today's tests. The new bacteria were growing well. They were eating carbon dioxide twice as fast as the old kind. This was what mattered, he thought. Not what people thought of him. Not where he came from. What mattered was what he could do. What he could create. How he could help make new worlds for people to live on. That was his true worth. The night of the science dinner arrived. Marcus put on his new suit. Gregory had taken him shopping at the best store in the colony. The suit was dark blue with a light blue shirt. It fit him perfectly. Marcus looked at himself in the mirror. He looked different from the man who had arrived on Epsilon 9 2 months ago. That man had been tired and worried. This man stood tall and confident. A car from Frontier Biosciences picked him up at his apartment. The driver took him through the main part of the colony to the governor's house. It was the biggest building in Epsilon 9, with a clear dome on top that showed the stars. Many cars were dropping people off at the front door. Men and women in fancy clothes went inside. Marcus felt a little nervous. This would be his first time meeting so many important people from the colony. At the door, a woman checked his name on a list. "Dr. Marcus Wells, Frontier Biosciences," she said with a smile. "Please go in. The dinner is in the main hall." The main hall was huge with high ceilings and big windows. Small lights floated in the air, moving like stars. Tables were set with real plates and cloth napkins. About 100 people stood in groups, talking and drinking. Marcus looked for a friendly face. He saw Gregory talking to a group near the windows. Gregory saw him and waved him over. "Dr. Wells," Gregory said, "let me introduce you to some people." The group included the head of the colony's hospital, 2 mining company leaders, and a woman who ran the water cleaning plant. They all shook Marcus's hand and asked about his work. "Is it true you are changing the air on LV-219 twice as fast as normal?" asked the hospital head. "Yes," Marcus said. "We made new bacteria that eat carbon dioxide faster. They also make more oxygen." "Amazing," said the water plant woman. "Do you think your bacteria could help clean our water too?" "Maybe," Marcus said. "We could test some kinds that eat bad chemicals." As they talked, Marcus saw Olivia Patterson enter the hall. She wore a shiny gold dress and lots of jewelry. She was with a man in a black suit. They went to a table near the front. Gregory saw Marcus looking at her. "That is Eric Lee, her new boyfriend. He runs a shipping company. They have been together for a few weeks." Marcus nodded. He did not care who Olivia was dating. He was just surprised to see her at A science dinner. Why is she here, he asked. This is for scientists, right? The governor invites all the important business people too, Gregory said. Olivia's mining company is still one of the biggest on Epsilon 9, even though they are having problems. Problems? Their new mining robot broke down. It cost them millions. And their own terraforming project on planet SK-42 is not working well. Before Marcus could ask more, John Carter came to the center of the room and asked everyone to sit for dinner. Marcus was at a table with Gregory and several other science company leaders. The food was very good, with real meat and vegetables grown in the colony's farms. Marcus enjoyed talking with the others at his table. They were interested in his ideas and did not care about where he came from or what he looked like. After the main meal, John Carter stood up at the front of the room. Welcome, friends, he said. This dinner is to honor the great science work happening on Epsilon 9. We are a small colony, but we are doing big things. He talked about several projects, including new medicines and better dome materials. Then, he smiled and looked at Marcus's table. Tonight we have a special guest. Dr. Marcus Wells came to our colony just 2 months ago. Already he has made big changes in how we do terraforming. His new bacteria method could help us make planets ready for people in half the normal time. Everyone turned to look at Marcus. Some people clapped. Dr. Wells, John said, would you please come up and tell us about your work? Marcus had not expected this. Gregory gave him a push. Go on, he whispered. Show them what you can do. Marcus walked to the front of the room. He looked out at all the faces. Near the front, he saw Olivia watching him with a strange look. Thank you, Marcus said. I am happy to be on Epsilon 9. My team at Frontier Biosciences is doing great work. He explained his bacteria in simple words. He told how they changed the air and soil on planets. He showed pictures of planet LV-219 on a big screen, pointing out how the air was already changing from brown to blue in some places. In 1 year, he said, we will send the first test animals to LV-219. In 3 years, people can visit without special suits. In 5 years, we can start building a colony there. The room was quiet when he finished. Then people started clapping. Many stood up. They were smiling and nodding. Marcus went back to his seat. Gregory patted him on the back. Well done, he said. After the dinner, many people came to talk to Marcus. They wanted to know more about his work. They invited him to visit their companies and labs. One woman from the education department asked if he would speak to students about science. Marcus was talking to the water plant woman about testing bacteria in their system when he felt someone behind him. He turned and saw Olivia. She looked different up close. Her face seemed tight and tired. Her smile did not reach her eyes. Dr. Wells, she said, your talk was very good. Thank you, Ms. Patterson. I did not know you were so educated. She seemed to be trying to be nice, but the words came out wrong. It was all in my file, Marcus said. The one your helper read. Olivia looked down. Yes, well, mistakes happen. She looked up again with a brighter smile. But it seems you have done well for yourself. Working for Gregory Hayes is a good position. I am happy with my work, Marcus said. Olivia moved closer. You know, my company is having some problems with a planet we are trying to change. Maybe you could look at it sometime. As a consultant, we would pay well. Marcus was surprised. The woman who had rejected him for his skin color now wanted his help. I am very busy with LV-219, he said, but you can send the details to my office. If I have time, I will look. Thank you, Olivia said. She took a small card from her purse and gave it to him. My private contact. Call me anytime. As she walked away, Gregory came up to Marcus. What did she want? Help with her planet project, Marcus said. She offered me consultant work. Gregory laughed. Of course she did. Their planet project is failing badly. They need someone like you to save it. He shook his head. Funny how she sees your value now. Yes, Marcus said. Funny. That night, Marcus could not sleep. He kept thinking about Olivia's offer, not because he wanted to help her, but because he was curious about what was happening on her company's planet. He got up and used his tablet to search for news about Patterson Mining's Planet project. What he found was surprising. The company had tried to change Planet SK-42 using a faster, cheaper method than normal. They had used stronger chemicals and more heat. At first, it seemed to work. The planet's surface had started to change, but then something went wrong. The chemicals had reacted badly with the planet's rocks. Now the air was filled with poison gas. The surface was covered with a black, sticky substance. The whole project was a disaster. Marcus read more. Patterson Mining was being sued by the colony government. They had broken safety rules. They had not tested their method properly. Now no one could use Planet SK-42 for many years. Olivia Patterson was in big trouble. Her company might not survive. Marcus put down his tablet and looked out his window at the stars. He felt no joy in Olivia's problems. He just felt sad that her bad choices had ruined a planet. He wondered if his bacteria could help clean up the mess on SK-42. Maybe. It would be very hard, but it might be possible. Marcus went back to bed. He would think about it more tomorrow. He had his own planet to save first. 6 months passed. Marcus and his team worked hard on planet LV-219. The special bacteria were doing their job. The air was changing from brown to blue. The soil was getting less acid. The planet was getting warmer. Marcus looked at the newest pictures on the big screen in his lab. The changes were clear. In some places, small test plants were growing. The first Earth life on a new world. "We are ahead of schedule," said Laura Rivera, looking at the data. "The air is changing 20% faster than we thought it would." "The new heat bacteria are working better than expected," Marcus said. "We might be able to send people for short visits in just 2 years, not 3. Gregory came into the lab. He looked happy. "Good news, Dr. Wells. The board has approved your plan. We are going to send a small team to LV-219 next month, just for 1 day, to collect samples and set up more test equipment." "That is great," Marcus said. "Who will go?" "You will lead the team," Gregory said. "You can pick 2 more people to go with you." Marcus felt excited. He had never been to another planet before. He had worked with samples in labs, but he had never seen a new world with his own eyes. "Thank you for this chance," he said to Gregory. "You earned it," Gregory said. "Your work has been excellent." As Gregory left, Marcus's tablet beeped. It was a message from Olivia Patterson. She had been sending him messages every week for 6 months, asking for help with her planet problem. He had been too busy to answer. This message was different. It just said, "Please help us. The colony government is going to shut down our company. We have 1 month to show we can fix Planet SK-42. Marcus showed the message to Laura. "What do you think? Should I try to help them?" Laura shrugged. "Their problem is very bad. The black goo on SK-42 is the worst planet mess I have ever seen, but maybe your bacteria could eat it." "I am busy with our own planet," Marcus said. "True," Laura said. "But think how it would look if you saved their planet after Olivia rejected you. It would show everyone that you are better than her." Marcus thought about it. He did not want to help Olivia just to make her look bad. But he was curious about the planet problem. It was a new challenge for his bacteria. He wrote back to Olivia, "I will look at your planet data. Send everything you have. I cannot promise. I can help." The next day, Olivia sent a big file with all the data on planet SK-42. The problem was worse than Marcus thought. The black goo was spreading. It was killing all bacteria they tried to use to clean it. Marcus studied the data for a week. He ran tests in his lab. He tried different kinds of bacteria on samples of the black goo. Most died right away, but one kind of bacteria seemed to live a little longer. It was a tough kind from a very hot and acid place on Earth. Marcus changed it to make it even tougher. After many tries, he made a bacteria that could eat the black goo. He called Gregory to his lab to show him. "Look," Marcus said, pointing to a dish with black goo. Small white spots were growing on it. "These bacteria can eat the goo. They break, it down into simple stuff that is not harmful. Gregory looked impressed. Amazing work, but why are you helping Patterson Mining? They are our competitors. I am not helping them, Marcus said. I am helping Planet SK-42. No one else has been able to fix this problem. Gregory smiled. Always the scientist, caring more about the problem than the people. He looked at the dish again. What will you tell Olivia? I will give her the bacteria design, Marcus said. But it will take a lot of work to make enough for a whole planet, and someone will need to go to SK-42 to set it up right. She will want you to do it, Gregory said. I know, Marcus said, but I am busy with LV-219. Marcus sent Olivia the bacteria, design with notes on how to use it. He thought that would be the end of it. He was wrong. 2 days later, Olivia and 2 men in business suits came to his lab. They looked serious. Dr. Wells, Olivia said, thank you for the bacteria design. Our lab says it might work, but we need your help to set it up on SK-42. I am busy with my own planet project, Marcus said. We will pay you a lot of money, one of the men said. 1 million credits. Marcus was surprised. That was more money than he would earn in 5 years at Frontier Biosciences. I do not need money, he said. Please, Olivia said. Her voice was shaking a little. If we do not fix SK-42, our company will die. Many people will lose their jobs. The colony will lose a major business. Marcus looked at her. Her eyes had dark circles under them. She looked tired and afraid. This was not the proud woman who had rejected him 6 months ago. Why should I help you? Marcus asked. You rejected me because of my skin color. You left me with nothing. Olivia looked down. I know. I was wrong. I was stupid. I judged you by how you looked, not by who you are or what you know. She looked up at him. I am sorry. Marcus was quiet for a moment. He did not know if she was really sorry or just desperate. But he did know that many people would be hurt if Patterson Mining failed. I will help, he said. But not for money. I want Patterson Mining to work with Frontier Biosciences on future projects. We can do more together than apart. Olivia looked surprised. You want to work together? After what I did to you? I want to save planets, Marcus said. That is more important than old hurts. The plan was approved by both companies. Marcus would lead a team to Planet SK-42. They would set up his special bacteria. If it worked, the 2 companies would work together on future projects. Before the mission, Gregory took Marcus to dinner at the same nice restaurant where they had first talked. You are a better person than I am, Gregory said. I would not have helped Olivia after what she did. I am not doing it for her, Marcus said. I am doing it for the planet and for science. Still, Gregory said, it is a generous thing, and it will make you even more respected in the colony. He raised his glass. To the man who saves planets. The ship to Planet SK-42 was small, but fast. Marcus and 2 team members from Patterson Mining made the trip in 3 days. They wore special suits to protect them from the black goo and bad air. When they stepped out of the ship onto the planet, Marcus could not believe what he saw. The ground was covered with thick black goo as far as he could see. The air was dark, with poison gases. Nothing could live here. It is worse than the pictures, said one of the team members. Yes, Marcus said. But we can fix it. They set up the bacteria tanks near the worst parts of the goo. The bacteria would grow and spread from these spots. It would take time, but it would work. As they finished the setup, Marcus looked up at the dark sky. He thought about his journey, from rejected mail-order groom to respected scientist saving planets. His grandmother had been right. His worth was not in how others saw him. It was in what he knew and what he did. On the way back to Epsilon 9, Marcus got a message from Gregory. The news was spreading fast about his plan to save SK-42. The colony governor wanted to give him a special award. The science board wanted him to head a new terraforming standards group. Marcus smiled as he read the message. He had found his place in the universe, not through marriage to someone who did not see his true worth, but through his own mind and work, and that was worth more than all the credits in the galaxy.